I'm Johnny Vegas, and you're listening to KopTalk with Dunk. And all you other Liverpool sites, just stop embarrassing yourself, all right?
Yo, what up? This your boy Smooth, straight from New York. You're listening to KopTalk Podcast. Remember this, you never walk alone, but if you fuck with us, you walk with a limp.
All right, guys, it is a Thursday, the 6th of April, 2023, and you're listening to the KopTalk Podcast in association with footballclubshares.com, where you can buy real shares in real football clubs, footballclubshares.com. How's it going, guys? You all right, yeah? I don't know what we're going to talk about today. I know I've got some emails off Mr. Naylor and Mr. Cheatham. I'm not sure why, but the emails were going into a separate folder on my account. And anyway, I've had to create a label and a rule so that they stand out to me now. So if you've emailed me recently and you're going, Dunk, where's the email? I think I've fixed it, all right? What we're going to talk about today. First of all, we're doing Saturday night streaming, all right? I'm not going out with the boys on Friday, so 7:30 p.m. Saturday night, KopTalk TV on YouTube. Did I say the time? 7:30 p.m. UK time. I don't think it'll be a late night, but I'm still going to do it. It's going to be the last one for a couple of weeks, okay? So I definitely won't be doing one on the 15th. So if you like the streams and you like to pop in, then this Saturday is the last time to do that for a couple of weeks. There will be a video on KopTalk TV today for channel members, and also VIP members will be able to watch that on the members website. I've just had money go out of my bank. Did you hear that? I don't like the sound of that. I don't look. No, I know what it is. It's a T-shirt. Ooh, how exciting! So yeah, I will get a video out for you guys as well today. If you are a member, I can't put it out to everybody because it's a little bit sensitive, and it's not. When I say sensitive, I mean it's information supplied by somebody else, and they work in a very trusted position. So it's not good to put all that stuff out there to everyone all the time, if that makes sense. Well, ever, to be honest with you. I tend to keep those private or on the members' website. So, right, what shall we talk about today? Do you know what, guys? It's 5:15 in the evening, or late afternoon, should I say. Today's flying by. I've been doing a lot of stuff on the website today, but we'll take a look at the gossip and those emails. Like I say, we've got those to do. The Premier League have confirmed that Liverpool's game against Leicester City next month has been rescheduled. That will now be played on Monday the 15th of May at 8 p.m. and will be shown live on Sly Sports. I'm calling them Sly Sports at the moment, because I got my video. I uploaded a video to YouTube the other day to KopTalk TV. It had a bit of the football on in the background when the players were walking off the pitch. No audio, just over my shoulder behind me as I was just recording a 60-second video or something like that. So I'm against the broadcasters at the moment. What else can we say? Obviously, Frank Lampard has returned as caretaker manager until the end of the season. That's a joke of a club at the moment, I think. There's a lad on Twitter, if you got Twitter, I think his Man United Talk is his username. I don't know him personally. I've never met him. He obviously is the enemy, but I really like him. We get on really well. He messaged me today, actually, on there. And he's put some good points on there about Manchester United, the new ownership, how that club's in a very dangerous position because you've got this owner that doesn't really know anything to do with the running of the club, I think he said, or something. I think he said the owner. It might have said chief executive. I think he said, I don't know. And he was making points about, how they've hired such and such, then sacked, hired, sacked. Now they've got Lampard back again. And he's basically saying that the guy that's bought the club with other people's money is investing their money, and at some point they're going to want a return. And Chelsea, it's just, I don't know. Listen, I'm not interested in what's going on at Chelsea, to be honest with you. But I just thought I'd mention that to you in case you don't know. Liverpool have expressed an interest in Leicester City midfielder James Maddison, apparently. He's 26 years of age. He's been linked with an exit from the King Power Stadium, and that might happen in the summer. Obviously, Leicester are involved in that relegation fight, and they got rid of Brendan Rodgers. Fantastic. Recently. and the suggestions that he could be on his way. Now, this report's coming from 90min.com, and that's not, an outlet that that you or I, should pay much attention to. Maddison, I think players like that are always going to be linked with us at the moment. It's not the first time he's been linked with us. If you've got an opinion on that, please feel free to email me. Can't get my words out. Talking about Chelsea again, Xabi Alonso is believed to have caught the attention of Chelsea. That's right, after his impressive start to life as at Bayer Leverkusen. He's took over the Bundesliga side in October, and he's helped them climb up the table after a bit of a slow start. 4 wins in their last 5. Leverkusen are now 1 point outside the European places, having been 16th at the time of his appointment. It's The Guardian who are reporting this. They're saying there is admiration for the Spaniard from Chelsea as they search for their full-time successor. Now, actually, I find that a little bit strange. Did you believe that like Chelsea suddenly... all right, Chelsea maybe, like they don't know what they're doing at the moment. Not being disrespectful to Alonso, but I'd want to see a bit more, wouldn't you? Especially if you've been a club like Chelsea that are having some problems. I don't think now is the time to be taking a gamble, So we all love Alonso, obviously, and he's someone we should keep an eye on for the future with ourselves. Maybe, you never know, do you? Liverpool have been linked with a move for 18-year-old Brazilian striker Vitor Roque. I think it's Roque, who has been back to enjoy. He's been backed. This terrible English doesn't even make sense. He's been backed by those. I think that's supposed to say. In his own country to enjoy a successful career. Now, the player's agent is already said to be holding talks with clubs over his client, with Arsenal, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Man United, Tottenham and West Ham also understood to be interested. Basically, anyone his agent can link his client with, I would say there. And he currently plays for Atletico Paranaense? I don't know. Who are said to be looking for the sale of the forward, who's said to be one of the biggest in Brazilian football. And the ambition is there, apparently, to offload the teenager for no less than 36.7 million pounds, 42 million euros, if you like. And he's an 18-year-old Brazilian striker. Now, this is interesting, guys. Liverpool obviously have been linked with Alexis McAllister again. Ourselves, United, Arsenal, we're said to have concrete interest in him. This is coming from, this says Cesar Luis Merlo. I will click on the link. It is a Twitter account, CLMERLO. I did see someone refer to him as reliable the other day, or was it yesterday, or overnight, or this morning, some fan account. I would pay no attention to that personally, because I think if he was reliable, we would all know about him, wouldn't we, guys? Especially if it was concerning Liverpool Football Club, and it's not a name that I've seen, before. I think the problem is that, when you get these journalists and so-called ITKs, when they get something right, if they time it right and someone notices that, they go, "Oh, you got that right the last time," but they forget all the other things. So, but while it's claimed that the two, that Liverpool could be already negotiating his services, and that his father, an agent, are currently in England monitoring the situation, we have had a concrete interest in him before, and which is quite funny actually, because this actually says concrete interest in McAllister, and I think that's what the terminology that this particular journalist has said. Absolutely, you should 1,000,000% not dismiss that. I wouldn't pay too much attention to that specific journalist. I just think that he's a long-running player, link, target, or whatever. Not a target, but a link. Someone that's what's considered possible or something like that. Certainly, I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool did, a deal for him. I think that you've got to look at, we could probably pick 8 midfielders, guys, or 8 play. When you say, all right, we want a midfielder, there's probably eight midfielders that you could pick from, and it's just really like when all these people claim to know what's going on, Jurgen Klopp won't know what's going on, guys, because there's so many factors affecting each one of those options as to whether it can, happen. So really, you might as well just pick one out of a hat, a name out of a hat, and go, right, we'll get him. I'm aware of this. I'm aware of how it works. The club will draw up maybe 8 players. Then it'll come down to 3. They go for the primary target, then the secondary target, then and so on like that. And a lot of factors affect these things. But I will point this out again. Last week I said to you that I thought we'd start seeing credible transfer news this week, right? And I believe I'm right. I do believe that. And what I mean by that is I think, like I said, January, December, you might start making inquiries, little approaches. Now we're at the stage where the club are going, right, let's step it up a gear. Let's see who we can do some of these deals for, okay? That's what I think's happened. And I think this week we have seen some more credible, names being mentioned with us as well, okay? Not just credible reports by credible journalists, but actual more credible names. So when you see a name come up like Alexis McAllister, I straight away think, there we go. That we know that is a play that the club are interested in. It's not just some random name like that Brazilian we mentioned a moment ago. Now, talking about potential targets, Liverpool are said to be willing to meet Chelsea star Mason Mount's wage demands after holding productive talks with the midfielder. That's according to Goal via the Metro. It makes me laugh when they do all this. Who are reporting that the Reds have already held productive talks with the midfielder's representatives, with a willingness to come to an agreement on both sides. Now, Jude Bellingham, it says here, is Liverpool's number 1 transfer target this summer, but is also, this lad could also be a target for ourselves, right? So we know, or you should know if you follow the podcast, that back in January, around the 23rd, I think it was, 26th, 23rd, I think, I told you about a sit-down between representatives of Liverpool Football Club and representatives of Mason Mount, and that those talks were described as productive as well. And I would use words like willingness and productive. And if my memory serves me right, I think he's on 80,000 a week at Liverpool, and he was looking for $250,000 increase from Chelsea. So the only thing that would concern me a little bit with this one, which again I think is a genuine, credible transfer target for us, right? I would put this in the top 3 of happening in the summer. However, right, I think he wants to stay at Chelsea. All right, he's a Chelsea boy since he was a kid. I think he's been their player of the year, fans player of the year for 2 seasons running, I think. But I think he's just keeping his options open. That doesn't mean that he's using us or playing us or anything. I think he's just got to make those decisions, and that's fair, right? We accept that. But absolutely, I've got a concrete, I don't want to say source, friend on, source or contact on this, but just a friend that advised me of what was happening in January. And, sometimes you get a little bit more as well. They'll tell me the exact, venue or location, maybe a hotel. And so I can check these things out if I want, I'm not going to do that because I trust them. But more specifics are often, made available with some of these claims that I don't pass on. And sometimes on the members' website, maybe. And also, sometimes people will say, well, why is the journalist not writing about this? Because if you're one of the journalists in the clique, they can't reveal everything they want to reveal. Trust me. There's many times they can't. And I know this because one of the mainstream national journalists that you guys will all know his name approached me years ago and said, look, I can help you with a few bits and pieces, but that there's certain things that I cannot put in the paper, but we can get it out through you. No shit of a lie. So the journalists often know more than they're letting on, and they can't divulge it. I've been in that situation before when we've had dealings with the club. The people at the club. Look at when a certain consortium tried to buy Liverpool Football Club. And I was quite close and tight with one of those people in that. And they were a KopTalk VIP member as well at the same time. So they were briefing me and telling me things almost daily, but then saying, you can't go on the members' website and say this. And I knew they were on there, and it was the most frustrating time ever for me because I was like, how the fuck do I get that on there without, giving it away? So I used to change my profile photo and fucking do anything, you know what I mean? Anyway, who's this kid here? Salzburg, RB Salzburg have reportedly set an asking price for Liverpool-linked Lucas Sucic. Is that what his name is? This is according to the Salzburger Nachrichten. The midfielder can leave the Austrian champions for £17 million during the upcoming summer transfer window. Now, the report goes on to claim that Liverpool are interested in signing the 20-year-old who has claimed 4 assists in 25 appearances so far this season. Now, I don't know much about him, but I've got a feeling that maybe we've discussed him before. The thing is, guys, we get linked with so many players. You just forget, and he's a midfielder, and he plays for the Croatian national team as well. Who's he represented by? He's not going to be represented by an agency that we're going to be familiar with, I don't think. Only because his name's not jumping out all over me. That's loading up at the moment. So let me just leave that screen. And gosh, what's going wrong? That particular website's crashing, so I'll leave that if it crashes. We don't need to know the agency, but just a little link there if you're interested. Tottenham have reportedly joined Liverpool in the race to sign Morocco international Nayef Aguerd from West Ham. That's according to, who's this? Jonsphoto.com, some website, never heard of it, who are reporting that the Hammers could demand up to £53 million for the defender. He's 27. He joined West Ham in a £30 million deal from Rennes, back in June. After missing the start of the season due to injury, the defender has since started West Ham's last 11 games and scored in his side's 1-0 win over Southampton on Sunday. Moving on. Chelsea are considering holding talks with former boss Antonio Conte over the manager's role as they look for a long-term solution, having appointed Frank Lampard until the end of the season. That's according to The Independent. But The Guardian, they link Xabi Alonso, as we know, so there's no need to read that. Telegraph, Leicester are set to demand £50 million, or about that, for 26-year-old England midfielder James Maddison, with Tottenham favourites to sign him. Interlive, Italian outlet. Tottenham are interested in Atletico Madrid's 28-year-old Argentina midfielder Rodrigo de Paul, linked with Liverpool again recently. Independent, Inter Miami are willing to offer PSG's Argentina forward Lionel Messi 35 an equity stake in the club to convince him to join this summer. These fuckers, do they need any more money than they've already got? Seriously. Football Insider, Arsenal have opened talks with Leicester's 25-year-old Belgian midfielder Yuri Tielemans, who has also attracted interest from Newcastle and Barcelona. And of course, he has been linked with us for a long time. I've got a feeling he might end up at Arsenal, but he is another name that you would know as a podcast listener or KopTalk TV follower or KopTalk member, whatever. You would know that is a player that I would consider to be on Jurgen's shortlist. The Mirror, Arsenal view Brighton manager Roberto De Zerbi as a possible replacement if Mikel Arteta leaves for Real Madrid. Can't see that happening, can you? I mean, him leaving. Fabrizio Romano, Mo Salah. Chelsea have started negotiations with France midfielder N'Golo Kante, 32 over a new contract. Independent, Leicester are considering an experienced caretaker manager such as Martin O'Neill or Rafael Benitez as Brendan Rodgers' replacement until the end of the season. Sky Sports, they say Leicester have identified Graham Potter, recently sacked by Chelsea, and Brentford manager Thomas Frank as summer targets, with ex-Southampton boss Ralph Hasenhüttl and former Leeds manager Jesse Marsch also under consideration. The Mail say former Borussia Mönchengladbach Amanda, what the fuck is wrong with me today? Do you know what that is? It's because it says AD next, and the word before that is manager, and I'm running ahead so fast that I'm reading like that. Amanda, do you know what I mean? You don't get it, do you guys? But I feel like my words are all over today. Let's start again. I did it again. I started, did you hear that? I went, that's because I went from former to Borussia, like that in one word. Listen, former Borussia Mönchengladbach manager Adi Hutter could also be an option for Leicester. I do apologise. Leicester are favourites to sign Valencia's 22-year-old Georgia goalkeeper Georgi Mamadashvili. Guess who said that? Mo Salah. You know the man, Fabrizio Romano. Burnley want to sign Ajax's 20-year-old Dutch winger Sonche Hansen this summer. That's Football Insider. We don't pay attention to them. And finally, it's Romano again. He says Arsenal are in negotiations with the representatives of 23-year-old English forward Rice Nelson about a contract extension. Is that Rice? Must be Rice. Chips and Rice. Right. Let's move forward. Where are my emails? Where are they? Adam Naylor. A couple of days ago, I think I missed this one. He says, morning, Dunk. So that Paul Joyce article today is showing me even more he's a mouthpiece of the club. We have a terrible weekend. He pulls an article out stating Bellingham is stood up for a Liverpool move. Also, don't know if it's me, but the wording of the article makes me think that the ownership may be thinking signing Bellingham and it solves the midfield problems. Maybe misinterpreted. Anyway, have a good week. YNWA Adam. He doesn't talk like that, by the way. Adam's a hero. I love Adam. He's mint. Yes, the timing of the article was suspect, and it did sound like that. Like they think, well, we'll get that Bellingham, then that's all that money gone, though. And it's a bit like that at the minute, which is why I think we've seen the, suggestions that the boss has to prioritise whether he's going to spend it all on him, or the majority on him, or whether he should ignore him and break it down into different targets. Adam followed up after that and he said, well done, top 4 ranks by a thread. I always thought we needed at least 4 points from these 3 games. If we get beat at the weekend, it is over. All these midfielder links seem a little suspicious. After we get kicked out of Champions League, the click come out with the we can't afford Bellingham, then get smashed by City, and all of a sudden we can get Bellingham, and then all these other midfielders. That Mateus Nunes too, apparently he is off the books because Wolves removed a clause that would allow him to move to Liverpool for a smaller fee. I have never heard something so stupid. Why would Wolves sign someone knowing he's off the next summer? Well, let's see what happens the rest of the week. YNWA Adam. So please do go and check Adam Naylor's YouTube channel out, guys. Brilliant Liverpool, commentator. Yeah, he's not a content creator. He might call himself a content creator. I just think when the word or term content creator today is just thrown around by anyone. And I've called myself a content creator before, but I'm rebranding, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, not when I look at some of these gimps that are on there today, I'll say the words you're not allowed to say. You know what I mean? I don't want to be classed as a content creator. I would say Adam Naylor he provides LFC commentary, an analysis, an opinion. There you go. Sounds a lot better than them fucking idiots on Instagram and that, doesn't it? Scott Cheatham. He messaged me 2 days ago. He said, "Hi, Dunk, just a quick email to say I think we just need to keep the faith. Listen, don't get me wrong, this season has been shocking, but I honestly feel one transfer window and we can leapfrog a number of teams who are currently above us. Don't get me wrong, the club's made mistakes, and this season we are definitely suffering from that, but I'm confident Jurgen will get it sorted in the summer. Diaz back will be massive for us, and Nunes and Gakpo are only going to get better next season. It's the midfield which is the issue. I think Fabinho and Thiago could be moved on in order for us to regenerate that midfield. We have some wonderful young players coming through in midfield, but there is a gap between the young lads and the older guys in his squad. For me, if we sort that out with the addition of a central defender, we will be in a good position next season. YNWA Scott. How's about that then? Hey, a bit of positivity there. We need that, don't we? He's going for it, he's Scott. I mean, I wouldn't disagree with regards to Fabinho and Thiago. I mean, people would say we'd rather keep them, but you probably have to sell them to bring in other players. That's the thing. Liverpool don't have that luxury under this shower of shite. No, I like that. I like just, I like to keep the faith. And that, I know Scott's not naive at all, he's a bright lad, definitely, because he's just become a KopTalk VIP member and supported me again. So there you go. That's anything Scott says, I fucking agree with. There we go. Especially around 11 months from now when he's up for renewal. All right, Scott? I'm only fucking with you guys. You know that. No, he's a good kid and he supports my podcast as well. Thank you, Scott. I do appreciate your comments and feedback, and thanks for taking the time to email me. Come on, guys, get the emails coming in. It puts me under pressure to record them. Now I've worked out how to put them in this little category that indicates I've got mail waiting for that. Anything sent to podcast@koptalk.com will now stand out, is what I'm saying. It used to do that, so I don't know why it changed. Podcast@koptalk.com. Every email read out on this podcast. If I miss it, you need to resend it to me and say, "Don't, what the fuck?" Because there's no reason that I should miss it now. Okay? So I do appreciate that from you guys. Right. Is there anything else left to talk about today? I'm quite happy with the length. I'm just looking on the members' website. They're talking about Diaz and Mane on the in the shout box there. They're talking about Didier Man. I think they're talking about he must have been criticising Klopp again, as he's always at it, isn't he? I don't know what he's been up to today. Why do we care about a man? He was a useful player a long time ago. The reality is that this team is in a crisis and somehow Klopp still gets a pass. He has got nothing from this group this year. How does one go from competing for the quad to now looking like the worst team in nearly every match? So I think that's... I don't know if he's... Anyway, they're talking about Haman. I've missed some of it off the top there. There are updates on the Jude Bellingham thread, which is really good. Look out for rumours around the weekend, Easter weekend. Not necessarily concerning him, but there's a good chance there might be. Obviously we've got the Arsenal game at the weekend. It's a bank holiday, and I think there might be some whining and dining. I won't say no more. And that's a lot, I think. What we'll do is we'll give a shout out to the squad, the people that support the podcast, and then I'll have another look again, see if there's anything else. So, if you would like to, be a really, really good Liverpool fan and stand by that meaning of you'll never walk alone, you can join the squad. The squad, as Rafa Benitez would say, the squad. All right? And for the cost of a coffee once a month, you can join the squad. It's true. And you get all the adverts removed from this podcast, all them pesky adverts, they're gone, you know what I'm saying? And you get access to the bonus episodes as well, the ones that are not made available for everybody. Sounds like a good deal, does it? www.KopTalkPodcast.com. It's like buy me a beer once a month if you want to look at it like that. But if there's some Muslims listening, listen, we'll call it a coffee, right? And everyone else, right, we'll say a beer, all right? www.KopTalkPodcast.com. And you can become a supporter of the podcast, as I just said, for the cost of a coffee once a month. So we'll start with the supporters, shall we? Let's have a look. Where's my browser? I would like to thank Liam Buckland and James Braid. Wayne Brown, Tom Brown, TG, Simon Digweed, Mark Bingley, Jimmy Negrete, Jamie motherfucking Gilmore, Harry, Hamza, 1996, Glyn Taylor, Craig Alford, Clint, I don't know if that's Winder, I guess, and Aaron O'Dowd as well. We then got our legends, Tyler Dean Williams, Scott Cheatham himself, although Scott will drop off this list this month because he's going over to the members' website, but he'll still be listening. He's just choosing to support me another way. We've got Paul MC, we've got Matt Mika, Lee T, a new legend. Thank you very much, Lee. We have James Lee and Jack Wood, Jack Rudgley as well, Big Wave Dave, and Andrew Evans. And then we have our royalty. That's the ones that keep me topped up on bottles of vodka. I'm not sure if that's a good way of saying that. Michael Couchman, John Watt, David Sutcliffe, and Adam Naylor himself. Not only does he support the podcast by emailing us, he's also fucking royalty. Can you believe it? Hey, that's the squad. I'm so grateful to all those people that I've mentioned on there. So, yes, guys, I do appreciate the support that you give me. So, if you are a patron and for some reason, your name's not on there, you let me know if there's anything that we need to do. Obviously, the list change around at the beginning of the month, and people drop in, drop out. Sometimes people change bank cards. They don't realise that they've not renewed, and then they'll say, why can't I get the ad-free episodes and stuff like that. So, any problems, always reach out to me. If you're on Patreon, you can message me through the Patreon messaging system. Or you can email dunk@koptalk.com. All right, guys, so let's have a look. Oh, shit, I've just realised I've got an article to write for tonight, and time is pressing on. Okay, I've got 2 to do. Oh, no, it's going to be a late night. Sorry. You don't need to hear this. Okay. Let's have a look, and I just want to see if there's anything more that's coming while we've been waffling. I expect to be back with you tomorrow, guys. I'm not doing the Friday thing with the boys, so I'm not under any rush tomorrow. And we'll see if there's any exciting news or anything like that. I was just going to say, I'm going to go and do some KopTalk TV stuff for the channel members now. I know sometimes people get a bit confused. You'll say, well, how do I get that and get that? If you're a KopTalk VIP member, right, you do get the extra episodes of the podcast and the videos on there as well, all right, as well as all the written stuff and the community and everything, all right? And to join that, it's koptalk.com, right-hand side, support and join or something like that, it says, or about. I can't even remember, guys. But I have to mention these things, guys. I know that some of you are not in a position to do that and would support me if you could. But I do need to do it. I've got to pay the bills. And I still keep it real, though. Honestly, I do keep it real. And, I'm just very grateful that you walk with me. All right. There's nothing else to talk about, really, guys. Unless we start talking about, it's just speculation. I don't think there's any point of that. I'll try and do a better episode for you tomorrow. I'm conscious that I'm stumbling with my words and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm a bit tired or what. I don't know. It's very late for me to be recording a podcast, to be honest with you. So we'll try and get one out a little bit earlier tomorrow on Friday. And don't forget, KopTalk TV Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. UK. We'll have a few laughs and giggles, and I look forward to seeing some of you then. Okay, please email me, podcast@koptalk.com. They always get read out. That gives us something to talk about in each episode. If there's no news tomorrow, I'll just be like, oh, well, there's no point. But if I've got 2 or 3 emails, I have to do something. It gives us something to talk about. All right, guys, thanks for listening. And again, thanks to the squad for making it possible, because this podcast would not be here without the names of the people that I've just read out. Thank you.